Hello. We've heard a lot recently about musicians and artists and actors and creative people of all types worried and complaining that AI is stealing their work, taking their jobs. The Screen Actors Guild, who already almost put themselves out of business with strikes, are going to probably put in rules that will further make Hollywood not profitable, and we will eventually have no actors at all except AI actors. Okay, you're familiar with the term Turing Test, or if you're a computer programmer, you might be. Alan Turing, who was made famous in the movie The Imitation Game, amongst programmers and mathematicians he was already famous, proposed the Turing Test. The Turing Test means that, and it asks you a question, talks to you, then you have a human do the same thing. If you can no longer tell the difference, then we would have achieved intelligence. Okay, we've gone beyond that point. We cannot tell the difference between a computer and a human in many or most cases. Now, there's a new term. People are looking to achieve AGI. What is it? Artificial General Intelligence. But this definition is short, because what does that mean? That just means faster and smarter. I believe we need a new term. We can call it AGII, Artificial General and Innovative Intelligence. Because, see, we have seen that AI can write operas and classical music because it listened to Mozart and Bach and the Beatles. But can it do something really new? I mean, think of B.B. King, right? Although he was not the first blues person, the blues is something quite different. Just nothing sounds like it. It's like, what's his name? Pete Jolson on the piano. Blues maybe came from the tradition of gospel, but where did gospel come from? Now, can AI come up with something new? I mean, can it do? I like Burt Bacharach. The lady on 60 Minutes said his music is smaltzy or swartzy or something. But everybody knows Burt Bacharach. What he did was different. John Williams, genius. Has John Williams created innovative and new music? Yes, but has he made a new genre of music? No, he hasn't done that. A new genre would be, for example, Bill Haley and the Comets. I guess the story goes they took English skiffle, turned it into rock and roll, and he wrote Rockin' Around the Clock. Then came Buddy Holly and Elvis and then the Beatles. So rock and roll was something new. And then country music, obviously, a lot of it probably came from where I'm from. South Carolina, you know, I grew up in the foothills of the mountains of South Carolina, where they had bluegrass music, which came from Scotland, or the Irish. They played the mandolin and the not the banjo. But anyway, so country music came from that tradition. But at some point, someone had an idea. Let's stroke the key different. Let's try this chord progression, and made something new. So bluegrass, country music. Now this is all Western music. Western music means music based on chords. There's 8 chords, 8 keys in a chord. Each chord is a mathematically logical too, because you go from middle C to the next C. That's going from 100 to 200 megahertz. Every time you go up 8 whole tones, that's doubling the frequency of the sound in megahertz. But Indian music, for example, doesn't use chords. So could AI come up with something like Indian music? Well, there's been composers. In fact, I just talked about John Williams. He put some of this in E.T. Say, let's make chords of 12 notes. So yeah, that's different, but does it sound good? Did it take off? No, it withered away. So you could at random, willy-nilly pick different sounds, but will it be pleasant to the ear? Does AI know what pleasant to the ear even means? I mean, it can do its random number generation thing, randomly create music, and by happenstance stumble upon rap, for example. But I kind of doubt it. Rap comes from sorrows and pains and the difficulty of living in the tougher neighborhoods. Now, what about writing? Okay, you see all these books I have here. I like to read literature, what people might call difficult literature, because I mean Dickens and Austen. Now I'm reading Dostoevsky. Okay, that is all realist writing based on actual life. But then modernist and dystopian was a big change. Virginia Woolf and James Joyce wrote Stream of Consciousness, and William Faulkner. And that means writing whatever pops into your head. Writing ideas, writing as if people were dreaming. No one had done that before. What would come after that? What would come after? Well, David Foster Wallace, he's over here somewhere. Here's his Infinite Jest. His book is realist too, but it's just so much different. I don't think it has a name. There's Gonzo Journalism, Hunter S. Thompson. So these are all more than variations on a theme. They are a new theme. There's something different about them. Now, painting is the biggest example. Okay, you have there's been modern art and modern sculpture, but people don't line up at the Modern Sculpture Museum as much as they do the Louvre. They like the what came before it, But there's been, what do we have? We have Baroque, we have Renaissance, but then we have Picasso. Picasso famously painted the woman with 3 breasts, and Braque was famous. I believe he imitated Picasso, but Picasso made something different from anyone before him. So can AI come up with something new? Now, AI could splatter paint on the wall and call it art, but Jackson Pollock already did that. Could AI find a new color in the color scheme? No, because color is light. We know the properties of light from Isaac Newton, basically. Impressionism is quite different. John J. Audubon, his drawings, I have some prints here of his, not the actual prints; those would be worth a fortune. But I have a very large prints of John J. Audubon. What could AI do in terms of art that is different? Now, it could do something and call it art, but again, it's got to be pleasant. People have to buy into it. They have to like it. It'd have to be like, there's plenty of new things that I don't like at all. Techno, for example, and what Andy Warhol did, paint cans of soup and that's art. We need to update the Turing Test, since that's obsolete now. Already we cannot tell the difference between computers and people. Sam Altman and so forth are trying to, and I think did Jeffrey Hinton come up with the term? I don't know. They're trying to achieve artificial general intelligence. And I think of this as being, for example, I just watched again the movie Prometheus. I had not seen it in a long time. And there's this drone in there. It acts like a human, right? It can do what humans do, faster than humans can do it, more accurately, and it knows more than humans because it has a larger memory. But can it innovate? Can it come up with something new? I don't think so. But if it can, we would have AGII, artificial, general, and innovative intelligence. I believe only humans can innovate. So what does this mean for the future? Well, no one knows. Philosophers are starting to think about this and write about this, but great change is afoot, right? Either AI is going to help us, put us out of work, put us all on welfare. You know, Kurt Vonnegut's book said that the tech companies should be taxed and taxes paid to support the people. That was in his 1952 novel, The Piano Player.